All praises. Shabbat Shalom to the Mashapak. You know, just thankful to the Most High for allowing us to have His technology to gather together, whether it's in person or virtually. All praise to the Most High for another day of life, health, and strength as well. And just continual blessings that He has done or He will do. So all praise to the Most High for that. And the water to ABA YAH and Maria as well, just for their platform and their consistency and just everything that they do for us and for myself. So all praises to them. May the Most High bless and keep them as well. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of get in here and just kind of share some thoughts on some things that I've been seeing. And it's not anything overly deep or complicated. And it's right in line, I think, as well with what Abadia has been talking about with the promises of the Most High. So just giving him, a break and some time to gather his own, thoughts and how the Most High is dealing with him, but also just collaborating with him as well and just bringing out things that's going on in the world. It's been a kind of a while since I spoke and also spoke about kind of like what's going on in the world as well. So I try to keep it short as possible and simple and just, can add on to it, in the future. So the first thing is obviously, we do our Sharash Ibar or Sharash Abar. And something had came to me because I was watching a video from one of the Gentile pastors, or I'm not sure what he calls himself, but he was talking about Revelation and he was talking about who the whore riding the beast was and who the system was and what Revelation 17 and 18 was about. And he was saying that it couldn't be America because it says that it's a city. And then even if we said it was a city or a place in New York, it couldn't be that for other reasons. But what came to my mind was just focusing on the word city. And that was my inspiration for this Sharash Ibar, this Sharash Abar, was the word city based on the Greek from Revelation. And then we have a Hebrew equivalent, which is the word that you see on the screen. So if y'all wanted to take a few moments to just see if you can break down what this means to you, or based on the knowledge that we have gained thus far, and then we can kind of go from there. I'll play one song while we wait and jump back in right after.
In times, countdown, cause the real truth is coming out now. Live and direct, wonder if they doubt now. It's souls on the line, they gon' see in real time. Yeah, countdown, cause the real truth is coming out now. Watch me, we ain't sparing no feelings. I can't hide it, I can't stay silent, it's the countdown. Is you ready? Clock still ticking, we closer to Armageddon. At this point, this is the topic of every record that you gon' hear. Who gon' be standing when the smoke clear? No fear, they harm flesh, could never kill a soul. Keep your eyes on the shepherd or you might miss the goal. The faith had us walking on water, but then we started sinking when we took our eyes off them. Cast down every distraction, get behind us, stay obedient. None of their weapons gon' prosper. The Father's arms way too big for them to box them. Abba never taking no L's, that's impossible. The almighty power, the creator of all things. Compassionate, merciful, he saw the end coming, so he warned us with prophets and messengers. Pharaohs hardening their hearts. Second Exodus. This is for every soul listening now. Be honest, would you be ready if he visited now? If you don't get chastised, is you really his child? Cause we still getting whippings. I guess we his children. I got an idea. Let's do something different. Keep his laws in our hearts and our minds and live it. Cleave to the covenant. Show him that we remember. Maybe he'll put us back on top. The clock's ticking. Hey, countdown. Cause the real truth is coming out now. Live and direct. Wonder if they doubt now. It's souls on the line. They gon' see in real time. Yeah, countdown. Cause the real truth is coming out now. watchmen. We ain't sparing no feelings. I can't hide it, I can't stay silent. It's the countdown. And when it's over, ain't no reset. Ezekiel 20, verse 34. Could this be us? Check the precepts. Leviticus 26, verse 44. His mercies endure forever. Taking accountability, all this dirt I did, but he remembers me. Listen, that grace is gonna run out eventually. Countdown, tribulation beginning officially. Birth pains, fourth quarter, you on the father's team. Dark sands, four beasts, that's what the prophet seen. Nebuchadnezzar in his bed, it was all a dream. A statue, Daniel, what does this mean? Look, praise Abba that he gave us that example. A young man interpreting dreams, understanding his parables. That same spirit is still available. Ask for it, cause in the tribulation it's gonna help us. Countdown. Yeah, cause the real truth is coming out now. I wonder if they doubt now. His soul's on the line, they gon' see in real time. Yeah, countdown. Cause the real truth is coming out now. We ain't sparing no feelings. It's midnight.
All right. Did anyone want to unmute and see what they have or say what they have for this word for city? Or type it in the chat if you can't unmute or don't feel comfortable. Jashir, he said Ayar, AYAR, and that's definitely correct. Did you have a thought on what it would mean or why would it be in relation to a city? He says, see the work of man, and Khan, that is a form or a way that you could break it down for sure. Seeing the work of men or seeing the work of man like in a place of gathering, or like a day to day. So that's definitely in line for sure. Anybody else?
Khan, yeah, this is a this is like a sort of guess, but I would say like seeing the set apart or Kadash city like of Yasharala or man.
It can be used for that. Um, it can be used for that. It's just I would say think more in terms of in general because it could be a good city or it could be a bad city. So it's definitely can be used for Jerusalem as well, but it also could be used for Babylon or something else. Did anyone else want to take a shot at it? Before I asked Abadia to assist, so I'll ask him last, I guess. And these are just different things that it could mean, like Yashar already has said, and it's multiple different functions that these characters can have. But he said it was IR, which is correct, and these are just some of the um, terms or functions that these characters can represent. Um, but if you feel something come to you from the spirit or you'll get an inkling, you could just unmute. Um, so let me tell y'all what Blue Letter says, and then I'll ask Abadia. So Blue Letter, it just keeps it basic. It just says a city or a town, a place of waking or guarded. But also down here, um, I marked in the highlighted area, y'all see how it says Ayar in the way that it was revealed to me that we don't have an I character. So they do have the IYR, but then when you go further, it says the AYAR here. Um, and it's just a witness that, you know, when I brought that out, or if I bring anything out, I'm not, you know, bringing anything to try to, you know, be different than anybody, or that I'm the only one that gets some type of revelation from the Most High. It's no type of agendas. If I'm wrong, you know, I'm willing to, you know, change and grow and learn. And in this case, this is another witness to that we don't carry a I sound at all. It's just that we have a I sound as in the ox head, and then we have a I sound as in the ion for I. So hopefully that's just another witness. I just found that this morning, just doing the screenshot for this. So they keep it pretty simple. And it says in a wider sense, well, it says a place guarded by waking or a watch in the widest sense, even of a mere encampment or a post. Um, and I want to explain like a more deeper understanding, but I would like if ABA YAH could help out if he was able to. If I don't know if you talking, you muted.
Okay, mic check. Can I be heard now?
Yes, sir. Got you.
All praises. Yeah, it's just another live case study how our native tongue really unlocks the meaning of the text. Like you saying, they translated this to city, and originally, like the most recent example for our generation that I can help explain this word is back in I think 1849, the gold rush. The 49ers were named after the gold rush. Was that 1849 or 1949?
I'm gonna check for you real quick, but the 49ers are named after that.
Yeah, so the 49ers were named after the gold rush when all these Europeans was running out to the west to find gold. And what they would do, that man, he would set up his little area and that became his land. He put his stake in it and that was his land, his property. And he slowly but surely put his house up. Then he had built a barn, bringing livestock. That became his area or his property, his land. So city really doesn't denote the true connotation of a yard. A yard is where a man is continuing. Because the ayan, the picture of the eye is ayan. So ayan here has the context of continuing, and the arm of a man, the works, his works, the man. This is where he's continuing his livelihood. A yard versus city. Anybody can live in a city, but a yard. This man set this city, just like we're named after Jacob, who has his name changed to Yasharallah, and we know we're named after the father. But our land is named after that progenitor. So Ayar, a man is continuing his posterity, and this is where he's continuing his work. Ayar. So that's just one way to process it.
Con, and that's definitely correct too, and that kind of helps uh, Kalina. It says that's similar to what came to my mind. All praises for that, and that's 100% correct. But also too, it makes me think deeper because that's kind of where I was going. But how you put it, um, it's like that the Ra, the man, and then the Yah for work could also be like his instruction almost, continuing, meaning that it doesn't have to be in one area. It can be spread over a multitude of areas. For example, in a positive way, the Most High's Ayar, he put his name in Jerusalem, but all 12 tribes follow the same authority that the Most High has set. So even if you're not in Jerusalem, he could say Jerusalem, but we know it goes for all 12 tribes. Does that make sense, Abadia?
Con, absolutely.
Okay, so then I put, because I was doing this kind of in a rush to this morning, so I wish I had a little bit more details to show you how it related with Nineveh, Babylon, etc. But maybe I can do that next time. But I want to go back to this. So I said it's something you see. It can also be your perception or your experience. So your perception of what things are is determined by either where you live or who was your authority, if that makes sense. Who was your rulership, your policymakers, um, or your authority, like I said. And then also the arm can represent the work, your actions, your activity. So in terms of like positive with Jerusalem, or the Torah, our actions are based on what the Most High has established. He is the rulership and authority over us, and our perception and experience comes from what he established, which we know is the Torah and the land and all of the things that he gave to us. But then on the other side, I'm going to go to what I was typing in my phone this morning. It's a place of policy and where authorities can dictate what you do, how you worship, like your actions, what's important, and what you perceive to be true, as well as your experiences. This is why this can represent a city, like we was all saying. The base core of it can represent a city, where a man continues, where men work continually, or they establish, an area that's guarded and watched. But then it can represent a political system or ideal or ideology. I don't know why this word is giving me trouble right now. But
Ideology.
ideology, thank you. It doesn't have to be a literal place, but it can represent whose authority, Salakia for the typo, and who is the main rule over the earth at a particular time. So at times this word is in junction and synonymous with Babylon. Then it was also used with Nineveh and obviously Jerusalem. But Babylon or Nineveh, for example, that was the capital city of Assyria, but Assyria ruled the whole world at the time. And then the same thing in terms of like Revelation 17, Revelation 18, it's not just where it is only a particular city, that has to match this physical description of sitting on seven hills, or example that they try to say. But Babylon, it is a place, but it's also a place that its authority has spread over the whole world. So it the way, because think about how we perceive and how we act and the actions that we do. Everybody recognizes Christmas on December the 25th. Whether even the other nations that have different religions, they still recognize what Babylon says is Christmas. Oh, it's their Thanksgiving week. It's Halloween. It's Sunday, the Lord's Day, Satan's Day, Saturday, whatever you want to say. You could just see that their rule and dominion is covering the whole earth. So with Ayan, it doesn't have to be that it's in one stationary area, if that makes sense.
Con, to me it does. Definitely.
And did you want to comment on that, what I was saying?
No, 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 you're doing good.
I just wanted to try to see, but can represent whose authority is the main rule over. Okay, cool. Naraya, go ahead.
Uh, God, I'm working, so it's hard for me to speak. I got a chance to step to the side. What you just said in regards to IR, I was thinking along the lines of once y'all started breaking the word down, just like what you said in regards to Yerushalayim or Jerusalem, the Most High put His name there, but as the eyeball implies, it spreads. So it made me think of if y'all remember in The Lion King when Mufasa said to Simba, he said, "Everything that the light touches is our land." Y'all remember that? I don't know if anybody remembers, but to go along to what your point is, the ideology of this system has spread like the eyeball implies, almost eternally or continually or just in a vast area. I just wanted to comment on that.
Con, and it's like too, let's say like Babylon, um, right now, to our belief and knowledge, is centrally located in America. There's even a city in New York called Babylon, Babylon, New York, the city that's owned, surrounded by water. So let that be, what it may. But like you said, the continuation, the spreading of the ideology can go throughout. Now it's not just New York, not just America, but now it's other nations that share in the same things. So when it says Ayar, Babylon, it can be in New York, America, but it also can be in Rome. It can be in Italy, France. It can, you see what I'm saying? So
Exactly. It reminds me of like a water drop. If y'all ever looked at puddles of water and you drop just one little drop of water in a puddle, you'll see the ripples or waves spread, but the central point was where that initial drop of water fell, and it just spread it and dissipated. Because just like you said, the customs are the same just about everywhere, but people celebrate different days like Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day. They celebrate them on different days in certain countries and uh, with religious beliefs or whatever. They do it at different times. But the premise of what you're saying, the IR or city, is still the same. People still have the same. Okay, we might celebrate on a different day, but we still celebrate this day that Babylon has established.
yeah, and then obviously those big ones like that, they all just recognize the same day that America does.
Yep. Hmm.
Other people like Chinese have a different New Year than America does, but um, let me see. I was trying to see.
And just to add on, that's what Alexander the Great, his teacher was his teacher was either Socrates or Plato. I can't remember, but that's what his teacher, the great philosopher, according to them, told him. He said, if you want to conquer the world and keep rule, then Hellenize the world. Give the world your culture. So that's why it became a thing. If you can speak Greek, if you can act like the Greeks, the Greeks became the Joneses. So everyone, if, can you recite poetry? Can you philosophize? Like if you couldn't be like the Greeks, you were a barbarian. Because to this day, we are still practicing Greek culture, sporting events. We're calling the lands by what the Greeks called them, like the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean. Egypt is called Egypt because that's the Greek language, meaning burnt faces. So that IR has the context of what the Greeks did. Continue your work on the earth. So the whole work to this day, the whole world is Hellenized because of IR. Because of IR. I yield with that. I seen Kalina and then Yala.
Khan, can I be heard?
Yes,
Con.
ma'am.
Khan, all praises. I was just gonna say, like, what y'all are saying is basically like exactly what came to my mind when I was breaking down the word. I got a city is the embodiment of a man or of the head's work and worship. And even what Abaja was saying, like with America, um, you know, this whole country is the embodiment of their worship to these false gods. And even Jerusalem, like that's going to be an embodiment of Yah. And our worship to him and his spirit. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. All praises.
All praises. Um,
Oh yeah.
go
Ayala
ahead,
I
was up
just
Pastor.
next up.
I just wanted to add on to Shamar. I was pointing about Babylon being like there's a city named Babylon in America and all that. I just wanted to say that yeah, guess like what other city is named in in the US or Babylon that's all over, but like not named in its original location. Goshen, the very ghetto our people were in back in Metatazarayim. Like there's tons of Goshens here, like more than three, I think, but like over there it's completely erased, gone. Like it's replaced by like cities called Ezbet Hassan Aga Al Azluj. Like yeah, just wrong names. Just but like I can tell it's our land because it's so many farmland, so much land like green surrounding that. It's very large area. Like each individual pastor, like imagine like one of those pastors belonged to one of us. Imagine that. Like it's just so insane to like think about how they just completely erased everything. But while still trying to show us a half truth or trying to show us a clue of it. But yeah, I'll yield to that.
And Con, yeah, it's a lot of, places that people, whoever was in charge at the time, would just name after biblical cities and things of that nature. But also, yeah, it is great when you think about how much land that we have and that, each of us having our plots and stuff from the Most High. So all praise for that. Yashar?
Oh no, all praises. I won't go too long, but just Revelation 13, I believe it was. I was just reading earlier today, and it was talking about the beast with the feet of the bear, and I believe the countenance of a lion. It was like just a mixed creature. And it's just crazy hearing this because what came to mind is that I don't know if this is true, but it could simply be the ideologies, kind of like how you broke down the word city, you and the Bajas, it's kind of like it gave me understanding that that beast might just be the mix of all the all the empires talked about in the statue of Nebuchadnezzar mixed into one. Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'm, wording that correctly, but yeah, that's what come to mind. All praises.
Con, I get what you're saying. Just the same type of ideologies. I mean, basically anything that's against the Most High, and that's still in rule. Did you have something about y'all?
No, sir. I'm good.
Okay. And then other than that, it just also when you even look at the Greek, just I just typed it in my phone, but it says a city like a physical urban center, a city state, so like political and economic power center, and then it says by extension a system of governance or civilization hub, and then it says it also can just represent authority, power, or identity, and it's more than just a town. So that's kind of the point, even from the Greek, but also from the Hebrew, of why it's not just, it doesn't always have to just be one small area. It can represent a greater meaning. So hopefully someone was able to gain something from that, and we can continue to, break down these words and get more deeper understandings as we learn and grow together. So all praise for that. If there's any final comments, anyone could just type it in the chat or unmute. Um, but that's all I had on the Shirash Ibar. So, like I said, I don't want to keep you too long, but I just had on my spirit just everything that's going on right now between Iran, also China and Russia, but mainly Iran as the forefront versus uh, Babylon or the United States, um, Trump, and then of course you got their political leaders. Actually, the one with the turban on, he's the one that they killed. Um, and just kind of just go over a few things. I just have some scriptures, and then I have a few clips that kind of could be seen as like prophecy coming true or showing us where we are in the current, stratosphere of time. So, with that, the first thing I wanted to talk about is how the Most High shows in Psalms that our enemies' plans that they have against us will fail. So when we talk about these different things, there's no need for us to have fear or be afraid because the Most High, is ultimately in control, and the Most High is in control of our life. So it's Him who decides who lives and who dies and what happens. So there's no need for us to, go out and, oh, I see this happening, I'm afraid now, or stop working, throw all your stuff in the, sell everything or whatever. No, this is just showing you where you are, what could possibly be on the horizon. But the Most High says, though they plan evil against you, though they devise mischief, they will not succeed. They will not succeed, for you will put them to flight. And I think it says you will aim at their faces with your bows. So that's Psalms 21 from the ESV. And then also you get it again in Psalm 7, and it's all over the place. But it says, behold, the wicked man conceives evil and is pregnant with mischief and gives birth to lies. Gives birth to lies. Now, y'all know who's running our country that we live in. And if you pay half of attention, he don't do nothing but lie. And he makes a pit, digging it out, and falls into the hole that he has made. So the pit that he dug, he falls into that very same hole. And his mischief returns upon his own head, and his own skull his violence descends. Also, I wanted to bring this out because it shows everything that they try to do that will be done unto them. And our the place that we live's president has made a bunch of claims and bold statements. So I'm gonna just see if this rings a bell to anybody. Does a spiritual light bulb go off when you hear this? This is the first one.
I could take out Iran in one day. I could take out in one hour.
If it was too low, he said, I can take out Iran in one day. I can take out Iran even in 1 hour. Here's the second one.
The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find out. We're getting the help of some incredible countries that want this to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are affected by this, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah.
Just to clarify, in order for Iran to successfully meet your deadline tomorrow, do they have to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me. And part of that deal is going to be we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
So obviously he just was doing a bunch of threats that he reneged on. He got scared and backed out when the time came. But the type of threats that he's making, does the words he used, do they ring a bell to anyone or make you think of anything? And you could type it in the chat or you can unmute.
Yeah, I just think of uh, ABA YAH 1, that whole chapter. Just watching those two videos, that's all I think about.
Okay, that's actually really good. So there's a matter of fact, just to help you out, just since you said that, I don't have it in here, but I did see something about it. He's talking about Obadiah, and I think verse 15 is one that I would say. that goes in line with the Psalms that I read. It says, "For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the nations. As you have done, it shall be done to you, and your deeds shall return on your own head." So Nariah, of course, he is understanding what I'm saying, and the Most High has pricked his spirit, and he listed Revelation 18 and 19. So I'm gonna go here, and what I put on here, because he said,
I could take out Iran in one day. I could take out in 1 hour.
I can take out Iran in one day. I can take out Iran in 1 hour, right? But
The entire country.
in Revelation, the Most High talks about Babylon, and I believe we're all on the same page on this Zoom of who we believe that this nation and this prophecy is talking about. So it says, verse 8, and then I'll get to Nariah's, and what, if it's not on here, whatever he has in the chat, and then Sister Lena Khan. So I put verse 10 on the screen as the main because it goes straight to the point, but I highlighted 8 through 10, and it says, "For this reason her plagues will come in a single day." That's what Trump said that he could do to them. "Death and mourning and famine, and she will be burned up with fire. For mighty is Yahweh Elohim who has judged her. And the kings of the Arataza, or the earth, who committed sexual immorality and lived in luxury with her, will weep and wail over her when they see the smoke of her burning. They will stand far off in fear of her torment and say, Alas, alas, you great city, you mighty city, Babylon, for in a single hour your judgment has come." So it could be considered ironic. It could be considered prophetic. It could be considered him putting those words into the atmosphere that the Most High can come back and use against him. I can't say. We just got to see it play out. But he used the exact words, one day. We can take them out in one day. Well, we could take them out in 1 hour. I don't think things like that are a coincidence, but I don't try to indoctrinate anyone. Verse 19, Nariah says, "And they threw the dust on their heads as they wept and mourned, crying out, Alas, alas, for the great city where all who had ships at sea grew rich by her wealth, for in a single hour she has been laid to waste." So all praises for that witness as well. Did anyone have any questions or comments about that point? All right. And it's ironic too, and maybe the next time that I go, I can put this in here, but I didn't this time. But those of us or you that know what's going on, a lot of the conflict right now is involving the Strait of Hormuz, which is where a lot of goods and services, especially oil and different things, is transported through. And Iran has total control over that, and they're kind of warring over that right now, and it's been officially closed off, and they're only allowing who they say can go through to go through, which and I didn't put this stuff in here either because I was trying to stay on like a certain track, but we might not feel the ramifications today, which some of it we may be at, like the gas pump, but everything that we have in the world right now, how its society runs, is based off energy and the transportation of these, goods such as oil, and how they use it for everything. So if this continues, it will probably be a couple months from now when we really feel it more, where your prices of goods and services and things jump more astronomical, because right now we're probably still running on the reserves that had already was able to pass before the conflict started. But I can talk about that another time. Um, but it's ironic that it's involving ships and goods and merchandise and things like that. So the next one I have here is Jeremiah 51 and 11, because it talks about raising up the spirit of the Medes. And the Medes, we've said plenty of times before, um, that's the ancient nation that is modern day Iran today, the Medes. So when we hear prophecy that's in relation to the Medes, it really perks our ears because of the things that we've seen the Most High have left behind, for us to read and for us to study. And Jeremiah 51 and 11, it says, sharpen the arrows, take up the shields. Yahweh has stirred up the spirit of the kings of the Medes because his purpose concerning Babylon is to destroy it. For that is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance for his temple. So the Most High is raising up the spirit of Iran and the coalition of nations that's along with them. And in the end, its purpose is to destroy Babylon, whoever you think it is. I guess we can see who it is if they don't believe that it's America. But it's funny that that's their main or major opposition. So it's something to keep an eye out for. And also in regards to raising up this spirit of the Medes, he says that they're going to have no regards for silver or gold. And when it says silver or gold, it's talking in terms of finances, right? And it's also something that we could pay attention to is that all the other nations are going away from the currency of the United States, the US dollar. And in the 70s, the US, they had made a deal with Saudi Arabia, who had the largest I guess group who had the natural resources of the oil, and we exchanged America exchanged their protection for the Saudis to only sell their oil in dollars, which that allowed the dollar to be really strong, and it forced other nations to buy the debt of the United States because they would have to get their currency into dollars and then purchase the resources from Saudi Arabia. But now Iran and other nations are beginning to deal within themselves and no longer accept dollars. And if this thing goes all the way through to where they're completely cut off, then we can see major shifts in the state of the world due to that. So Isaiah 13 is another prophecy about the Medes and coming against Babylon. And it says in 17, behold, I am stirring up the Medes against them who have no regard for silver, and they do not light in gold. Their bows will slaughter the young men. They will have no mercy on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes will not pity the children. So I also want to show y'all one of the real life reasons we could possibly see why they're not going to be in business for regarding the silver and gold, besides the coalition of nations, coming up with their own currency and dealing amongst each other. But before I show that, I just wanted to have an opportunity that anyone want to unmute or type in the chat or say anything in regards to the last couple things we were saying. All right. If you don't, I'm going to explain or show, in my opinion, what could be a reason why it's going to be no negotiation. It's going to be no regards for silver or gold when it comes to the Medes against Babylon.
So, like, yeah, I was muted. I just wanted, before you do that, the POTUS remind me of the Syrian general selling wolf tickets to Hezekiah and saying all he gonna do, and the other gods of the nation hasn't been able to stop Assyria, and your God won't be able to stop us. And that's what the POTUS remind me of. And we know the Most High is with the Medes, so he's just selling wolf tickets, and it's going to be to his embarrassment. With that, I yield.
Absolutely. Anybody else? So these are two. This is one of the reasons I can see why it's almost like the plot of a movie, which we all just living in. And I know Miss Joy, loves stuff like that because I do as well. And but it's like we're sitting in a big plot of a big movie, and we're just sitting back watching. But check out this situation right here.
We killed his mother. We killed his wife. We killed his son. We killed his sister. We killed his brother-in-law. And we killed other relatives, including a niece or nephew, who are well, whatever, I can't follow the family tree here, but nieces and nephews, potentially, we also killed. So, all we did so far is replace one supreme leader, an old, what was he, 86 years old? One supreme leader, one old guy, with his more hardline son, and we made sure that that guy is really going to have a hate on for the United States.
So the old supreme leader of Iran, they killed him, and now his son is in his stead. But also for that son, is talking about how they killed, a great number of his family. And I'm gonna just play one more so it give a few more details.
We have some news right now. Iran has selected a new leader, the Ayatollah's son, and he's even more of a hardliner than the Ayatollah was. And while he doesn't like the United States even more, because the United States actually just killed his wife. Here's everything you need to know about the new Iranian leader, who may not be in the position that long, according to Trump, because Trump says that the United States may go after any new Iranian leader. The Ayatollah's son, he's more hardline than the father. He's the candidate of the IRGC, which is the Revolutionary Guard, the military. He's pretty young, 56 years old. His father was 86 years old. He avoids the public. He's trusted by his father and the clerics. He was in the military during the Iraq-Iran war, and his wife was killed in an Israeli airstrike that also killed his father. So you have a more hardline leader in Iran now, be it for a few days, a few weeks, or years, a younger leader, and one who really doesn't like the United States or Israel for a number of reasons, but mainly because they just killed his wife. Spread the word, follow along for more.
So the old leader was Ali Khamenei, and then his son looks like it said Mojaba or Motaba. And how would you feel if someone killed your dad, your wife, your children, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews? To me, this could be one of the reasons why, or that they are provoked in the spirit to not care about negotiations. Even if we see them negotiate, for a short time, those things never leave you. It's only a matter of time before the chickens come home to roost, as they would use it metaphorically. But it's only a matter of time to where, like, you're not gonna forget that you killed, all of these people, in relation, and just everything is gonna continue to be kumbaya. Like your whole family, your wife. Now, if you just really sit back and think about that, what type of vengeance, even if it's not this man that's 56 years old, if he has another son, eventually this thing is not gonna, be forgotten. So I could see this as being one of the reasons the Most High is saying that by the time the judgment comes, they're not gonna have a regard for money at all when it comes to the destruction of Babylon. Did anyone have a comment about that?
Yeah, it kind of, when you said that the son was like worse than the father, it kind of reminded me of Jeroboam and his son Ahab. um King Ahab was way worse than Jeroboam was. But yeah, I just wanted to make that connection there.
Con.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I was going to just be remindful of when the Most High troubled King Ahasuerus, troubled his sleep, and he couldn't sleep, and he called for the books to be, the records, history books to be brought to him, and he remembered that nothing was done for our uncle Mordecai. And so the same thing can happen with Demise. One brother may say, "Ah, okay, I'm gonna let it slide," but the next one come up, and Most High trouble his spirit. Like, remember, he killed your grandmom, your mother, or whoever. So it's all in the Most High's hands.
Absolutely. Anybody else? All praises. Um, so also the Most High has prophecies, and we talked about this before. Some of this stuff I seen from a class that I did when we was in the ABA YAH, and there's been some changes from that time too that we could point out, but I just made this just only a few points because that class was like 4 or 5 hours, I think. But so one of the points that the Most High has also made, and it's been a topic of discussion in our modern current time, is that there will be fallen soldiers. I wanted to get a video and I just forgot, but about people talking about how they're thinking about or have already put ground troops in Iran and they're just not saying it. But regardless, the theme is that a lot of people are believing that when they send troops over there to fight, you pretty much sending them into an unwinnable mission. You pretty much sending them there just to be slain because you're going into a terrain that they don't know. And over the course of these 50 plus years, they've been setting up underground bases, underground, bunkers and places. And they pretty much booby trapped the land for them to be ready in case of an invasion or a war from the United States. So this prophecy stuck out to me, where the Most High is saying in Jeremiah 50 and verse 30, and he says, therefore her young men shall fall in her squares. All her soldiers shall be destroyed on that day, declares Yahweh. But in the and that's the ESV. In the KJV, it says, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Most High. And then it also turns back around in Jeremiah 51 and 30, and it says how the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They have become as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. And then in the ESV, that was the KJV, the ESV, which is on the screen, it says, the warriors of Babylon have ceased fighting. They remain in their strongholds. Their strength has failed. They have become as women. Her dwellings are on fire and her bars are broken. So not only when the men are sent to fight or have to fight in their own land, either one of the two, they're slain, they're fallen and slain, but also the warriors of Babylon will give up the will to fight. And it says that their might and their strength has failed. They have become as women, as her dwellings are, set and burnt on fire. And what this brought to my mind is the situation regarding America's military and America's policies changing and America putting forth the notion that there'll be a draft. And we know they had one in the 60s. There was a nice Muhammad Ali video that I could have shared, but I didn't. But I was always inspired by him because he refused to, no matter what, go and fight for this nation against other nations that he felt he didn't have a art or a problem with. So for him to give up his boxing career for 3 years, not knowing exactly how he would probably take care of his family per se, and also too willing to go to jail for refusing to fight. So this has been a reoccurring theme. When I was watching, I was just watching it because I watch boxing when I do workouts, but it was just covering his history. And so I'm just I just really, enjoy that. But seeing that courage and that strength, you know, we or people we know may have to stand on the Bible and stand on our quote unquote religion, our faith, and not decide to go and fight if you were so called to be drafted. And this has been a big topic of discussion because they are changing the enlistment rules of the military. Like the Army branch has went up to, I think, 42 years old, and they are lowering the requirements of what it takes to be enlisted in the military. Things like flat-footed people, people who had certain criminal records, and it's a whole list of things that they would not accept that they are now accepting because the military participation is very low. Ya'Allah said, "Hey, that's me, flatfoot. I'm flat-footed too, but they don't care anymore. They still want to send you over there if you're between uh, the age group, and they would probably just extend the age group more depending on how the situation went. But currently, I think the enlistment age, which is not draft age, it just means that you can voluntarily enlist, is 42 for the Army. Um, but then there's a whole host of people, especially young people, but it's all groups. Of course, y'all know the Israelites that's awakened are like, we ain't going. So that's the whole Muhammad Ali same stance that he took. Even if we are in the age range, because it's not just about one person, and for me or anyone to say, well, I'm a certain age and I'm good, because we got to think about our brothers and sisters. Like, I always think about Anthony, Yashar, y'all all younger than us. So I think about that. So it's not just about, oh, well, such and such is good. We just gotta, this is a issue that we may have to face as a family. Um and most high will be done. But even the men of their nation are saying they ain't going. They're refusing to fight. And it's really, like, to me, showing that this is the land, this is the prophecy. I didn't put all the videos on here because it's hard to find one without so much vulgar language and so much cursing, and I'm not as versed to go through and eliminate the language like that. So I just put screenshots of two of them, and the headline up here is this man saying, "Hey," he's saying, "a draft, question mark, you're not getting my sons." And he goes on this whole diatribe about the military draft and how him and other people like him, if we just looked at him, he's actually wearing a North Carolina hat, which I didn't even recognize until now. But these are people we would consider, if we looked at them and judged them without knowing them, that they're patriots, right? But they're saying that I'm not fighting, my sons ain't fighting, my neighbor's sons ain't fighting either. And then you have a bunch of young people. If you just go on social media or TikTok and type this in, like draft or I'm not going, you will see so many, our people just turn everything into a joke. So I couldn't find I didn't take the time to find too many without crazy language. But this other guy over here, he says, I will not get drafted to no war. And then in the video, he explains why. And, some of it is jokingly, but they'll say things like, oh, I got a bad back. I'm flat footed. I'm this, I'm that. I'm too old or whatever. So that's just the notion and the sentiment. And to me, it really shows this prophecy here. And I have I think two videos, one about the draft and one about the enlistment.
You got drafted, would you go? No, I'm 26, so I can't get drafted anymore. I'm too old.
So we actually set the limit increase to 28 this year. Would you go?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Well, why not?
Why am I gonna go? I'm too old.
You don't like America or what?
I got a flat foot.
You got flat foot?
Yeah, they can't take people with flat foot.
No, so we're actually now accepting people with flat feet at the age of 28. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Would you be down to go now?
Nah, man.
Ain't nothing you can say to these people. They just ain't going. They looking for every excuse possible. I'll play this extra one, this one more, and then anybody can unmute.
So the war machine is turning right now. Did you hear that the Army's enlistment age has gone up to 42? They haven't done this since like 2006 during the Iraq-Afghanistan wars, where they needed to fill ranks. So they upped the age, and then they changed it back after 2016. Well, they changed it again. I mean, we all know that this younger generation, they don't want to go fight. They've already said that they don't want to fight this war. They will not enlist. So if you're 41, 42 years old, are you going to go enlist? I mean, there's a lot of people out there right now that aren't working. They are jobless, unemployed Lloyds, and they need something to do. This might be a prime opportunity for you. I mean, it's just a matter of time before things pop off over in the Middle East. And they're already sending the 82nd Airborne Division over there, right? They already got Marines there. So it's just a matter of time.
It's funny to me how he put that too. It's a lot of y'all jobless. You might as well just enlist and go on over there and just fight and give up your life. That's what I got out of what he was saying. But overall, it's just talking about the age limit being increased because they just don't have the numbers. All of the simulations of war between America, Russia, China, Iran, they lose every simulation. So they got to be really careful on how they attack this thing because right now it's no scenarios that's showing them with a clear victory. Did anyone want to unmute?
Yeah. I just wanted to make a quick little analogy of like what you're saying of like all the soldiers going over there to their potential death. In 2 Kings 10, Jehu, he like told all the prophets of Baal to come to all gather at the temple together. Like he essentially tricked them, and like once all of them got there, he told the guards to smote them. So like I'm like thinking all those prophets of Baal are those soldiers being led to their eventual death, but they don't know that. They're essentially being tricked in a way. But yeah, I just wanted to make that quick little analogy. So,
Con, that's true. Anybody else?
Con, I was I was watching one of the brothers. I really like his spirit when he teaches, and he was going over some history. Pulled up a source referring to the destructions of empires, and one of the features of an empire being destroyed is military disintegration. And so the point you're making, how no one wants to serve anymore, is just part of an empire crumbling. Especially going from, you know, the last time I seen their pride was when 9/11 hit, and you had people my age and older. I think I still was able. I think I still was under the age then. I'm like, I ain't going, but people was just running in droves to sign up because of that pride of their flag. Versus now, everyone sees the smoke screen. It's all about the rich people just stealing more wealth from other countries. Now, even the liberals see this now, and no one wants to sign up for your army anymore, for your military. So that's part of an empire crumbling.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree. I agree. Did anyone else have anything?
Oh no, I did want to ask your opinion on this because I was thinking about Micah 5:8, because I guess from the standpoint of our people and other various groups, like natives and etc., it's kind of like they're kind of backing us up into a corner here. Because if you're asking us to risk our lives to fight, um, I guess from a prophetic standpoint, the people we know who I was given the green light, and historically, you've done so much to us as a people. It's like, from my standpoint, just thinking about Micah 5:8, it just seems like a doorway for that prophecy to come through. Because if you're asking us to risk our lives against your enemy, in this scenario, what would make, I guess, how can I word this? Some of us not risk our lives against you as the perpetrator, as the evildoer. But I did want to ask you about that, like what you think about Micah 5:8 in the light of all this.
Micah 5 and 7, it says, "And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from Yahweh, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men." Verse 8, "And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver." And then 9 says, "Your hand shall be lifted up and upon thine adversaries, and all of your enemies shall be cut off." So I definitely see the point you're saying, and in case someone else is not understanding your point, his point is when it comes to like Yasha Allah specifically, and it could also be the other nations, but Yasha Allah specifically, if we're in a situation where we're forced to have to go out and fight, what would stop the people from just revolting and just take, if they're gonna quote unquote die anyway, if that's what they think, then what would hold them back from risking their lives to go against the nation that we're currently serving under? Instead of going to fight for them, we would just fight against them potentially. So that's his point. And then he's using Micah 5 and 8 to say how Jacob is amongst the Gentiles as and the many people as a lion among the beasts in the forest. And it's like we haven't raised up or have gone through or treaded down yet. And also it's in relation to Jeremiah 51, where it says, "You're the Most High's battle axe and weapons of war." So we just have to wait for the Most High to give the orders and put His Spirit in us, to where we will, win the fight. Because the Most High give us the cheat code. He's like, "Oh, I want you to fight, but you already won, so just go on out there with confidence." So all praises for that. And I think this could be one of those scenarios. We just have to see and find out. Anybody else? Okay. Um, so yeah, if there's no other comments about that, that's kind of the situation going on with the military and their military ranks in the army and the draft. So we just got to continue to watch and see, how things turn, and stay prayed up with the Most High and allow Him to protect our hearts, our minds, our decision making, and our bodies as well. So all praise for that. Coming towards the end here, there's a couple 2 points I think, and then we out of here. So this is Jeremiah 50 and 9, and the Most High talks about not just the Medes, but a coalition of nations, or a assembly of nations coming up against Babylon. So it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be of a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain." That's in relation to the "none shall return in vain." like what Naraya was talking about, them getting missiles and weaponry that can bypass the defense systems. And when the Most High puts it in their spirit to unleash, then these arrows and these missiles, quote unquote, are going to hit their targets, and none of them shall return in vain. So that is in relation to what Naraya was bringing out. And then also the key point here that I wanted to point out is that for us to recognize where we could be in prophecy and in times of the world, we should see a coalition of nations coming up against another group of nations or the one great nation, because we can all agree that for the past X number of years that America has been the world's quote unquote superpower. It's also been the world's police. So they will go in another country, kill your leader, put who they want to be in there, and then set up a base and just pretty much police another nation. You know how strong and mighty and all of these things you have to be for you to just go occupy another nation's land. And so that's what they have been. And the Most High is saying, he's going to cause and raise up an assembly of nations. And that just had me thinking about what we've been talking about for years, BRICS. I talked about this before when we had the Bayat. But now it was Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. But at the time, other nations were either invited or bidding to join this coalition of nations where they'll now share resources, economic status, power, resources, treaties amongst themselves versus, whoever, which at this time has been America's, order and rule of how everything is to be. So before it was a few nations, but now today, this is the current mock-up of the members and then the partners. So the members are now Brazil, China, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Indonesia, Iran. They weren't an original member. So now Iran, the Medes, who the Most High we've seen is raising up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, has partnered with Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia wasn't a member before either. Saudi Arabia has a great supply of oil and resources. Also, South Africa as well, they have a lot of resources, and the UAE. And then they have partners. Cuba is a partner. And y'all know we've been having issues with them, and then obviously Venezuela. But they're not on here, but just in general. Belarus, Bolivia, uh, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Nigeria. A lot of our ancestors come from Nigeria. It's a lot of Israelites in Nigeria as well. Thailand, Uganda, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. And we already know they had a Vietnam War, years ago. That's the one that Muhammad Ali was protesting against. So to me, I'm looking at this and seeing the prophecy of the Medes, recognizing them as the current modern day Iran, and then the Most High saying he's going to raise up a coalition or assembly of nations. And they're currently dealing amongst themselves, as we can see here. And it looks like one of the current plans is to have them transact that oil that goes through that strait in the Chinese yuan instead of the dollar. So we just got to keep our eyes out on what's going on in terms of that. But it just seems like the Most High's prophecies are coming true. And so did anyone have any comments about this coalition of nations before we move on to the last point?
Yeah, it's lining up with Revelations where it says all her lovers is going to turn on the whore, and we see it's lining up. It's lining up because a lot of the nations, I know, 50 of them abstained from offering their opinion when it came to that UN resolution about the greatest crime against humanity. But a lot of these nations are appalled by the audacity or caucasity of America not confessing. Like, just go ahead and fess up. You did it, and it was more. Even though slavery was worldwide, it remained prevalent longer, and we have the worst stories in this on this soil. And the fact that they refuse to admit they're wrong, these other nations are, they may not be. A lot of them, some of them are vocalizing, like the African countries, they are vocalizing their disdain that you refuse to admit your evils. But the other European countries, they may not be verbalizing their disdain, but trust me, it's being recorded. And then again, the big joker is when the Most High prick their hearts to turn on the whore. So we see the east winds are blowing, the Most High lining things up. It's not hard to see these prophecies coming true.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And man, also too, it's like it's not just if it was just a few of these countries coming together, that would be a different story. But this is the major competitors to the USA. Like China and Russia by themselves are, major threats and worthy opposition to the US. But China, Russia, and Iran coming together, that is, I mean, it's almost like it's pretty much no scenario where America could win. And it also the other countries, like in the NATO treaty, it seems as if they are, disbanding or on the verge of disbanding and turning against America as well. Because of its ties for Israel. So it seems like it's becoming Israel and America versus all the other nations in the world. That's kind of how I'm seeing it right now. So the last point that I wanted to make was the Most High's promise. And his promise is something that I saw. I don't even know if I had it highlighted or I did. And I just can't even remember because I've been reading through some of this in the ESV, and my original studies, besides the Septuagint, is KJV. So going through now and reading it in the ESV, it stuck out to me. And in Jeremiah 51, it says in 13, "O you who dwell by many waters." So we know who we're saying that is, the United States. "Rich in treasures, your end has come," Salakia for the typo. "The thread of your life is cut. Yahweh of hosts, or Yahweh Tazabah, has sworn by himself." And I remember when I heard that sworn by himself, ABA YAH's voice just kept playing in my head about the Barat that, and if I'm using that right, right, ABA YAH, Barat is a promise more so, and a karat is between two parties.
Con.
All right, great. And it says, "I have sworn by myself, surely I will fill you with men." So the Most High is saying, I guarantee that this is going to happen. "As many as locusts, and they shall raise the shout of victory over you." So the Most High is basically promising and putting it on his own name that he is going to destroy this place. Did you want to harp on that, swearing by himself, ABA YAH? Your voice just always comes to my mind talking about, how the Most High did the same thing in regards to our nation. Like, I will bring y'all back. If I don't, I'll kill myself. And how powerful that was.
Yeah, there is no greater oath than that. Like the creator of everything. I mean, the creator of everything has sworn by himself. Like, and that's the beauty of us reconnecting to our culture. Like, we grew up in the Greek society where shake my hand, let's shake on it, and we know a handshake ain't worth 2 cents now. People have their fingers crossed behind their backs and all that stuff. In our culture, you are committing to this thing in front of witnesses, and you're putting your life on the line if you fail to perform your word. That's how serious it is. That's why our people wasn't so gun ho to enter contracts, wasn't so gun ho to get married, because it's a serious thing. It's a serious responsibility, and there's serious repercussions when you fail. So the Most High prompts, and this is just, it's one of those things where it's another proof text. We are not all the same in the Most High's eyes, meaning the nations, because no other nation can show me in the scriptures where the Most High made a promise to destroy himself if he doesn't keep his word to you. Only us Hebrews, Abarim, only the children of Jacob can claim this. Like the Most High gave me that's like, he gave me a promise, and then he also put a guarantee on top of it. That's what he gave Abraham. Like, not only I'm giving you a promise that you're going to be great and your seed is going to be as the stars, I'm going to give you a guarantee. If I don't do this for you, if your sons are not multiplied above the stars, if I don't give you the land of Canaan, I will destroy myself. And only the great I am can destroy a spirit. All those wicked spirits who rebelled against him, they're not dead. A spirit can't die. Only the Most High can destroy a spirit. Man, that's how real this thing is. He's the only one who has the ability, the power to destroy a spirit. Only he, and he's telling us, if I don't bring y'all back home, if I don't repay these nations for what they did to you, even though I allowed them to do that for y'all punishment, but because I love y'all, I'm going to kill them for y'all, and I'm going to set you back in your land. I'm going to right the ship. You guys are going to be the head again, and these nations are going to serve you. If it don't happen, I'll kill myself. There is no greater promise than that.
All praises. Thank you so much for that. Because that same language, he's swearing by himself to surely destroy Babylon.
We got Nariah hands is up.
Khan, go ahead, Nariah.
Khan, all praises. I'm glad Abijah went first, and I'm glad you brought it up the way you did, Shamar, because yesterday I was at work, and Yah is my witness. I was meditating on the word barat and karat. I was meditating on it, and it helped me remember it with barat as opposed to karat, the ba, the ra, and the ta. And we talked about it before, but it really just clicked yesterday for me. The ba and ra is like the inner mind, like the mental note of a covenant. So the Most High did this in his own mind by swearing to Abraham, just like what Abijah was saying in regards to how he gave Abraham the vision of a furnace going through the pieces of the animals. This is something the Most High made for himself as an oath to Abraham. But a karat, to give the chief's covenant, that's something that we exchange between one another. The Most High exchange with us. That's what helped me remember it. And I always said, and Shamar, you probably remember, but I always love when the Most High talks that tough talk because we know he's going to deliver. Like the first time it really stuck for me is when he said, I lift my hand up to heaven and say and swear I live forever. When I wet my glittering sword and so on and so forth. I just love when the Most High talks like that because you know he ain't lying. And there ain't nothing anybody can ever do to stop it when he says something like that. So I just wanted to say for anybody for the words barat and karat help me remember the differentiation between the two. But I'll yield with that.
Khan, all praises, absolutely. The Most High is making this statement, and like you said, from the inside of his mind is this covenant stamped, and then karat, we exchanging usually blood through a cutting of some sort as well. Um, did anyone have any comments? You can unmute or type it in the chat. Then we have one more slide to go. And it's funny, I just, let Op flow ABA YAH. But when the Most High is saying that he's going to fill this land with men and he's going to destroy Babylon, it's it's just amazing that at this time, this is going to be the 250th year anniversary of the United States of America. And just like ABA YAH watched a video talking about the destruction of empires or the collapse of empires, they say it happens around that 250th year mark. Now, of course, we've been over here longer than that, but it's the 1776 is when they declared their independence. So they're basing it off of that date. And ABA YAH was going on about some of the traits that you can see that's common in all the nations, and he talked about how the military was one of them. So this video is going to talk about that same theme as well.
When you really think about it, 250 years is a nice round number to end on. What this person is referencing is a popular political theory coined by Sir John Glove in 1978 that says great empires have a predictable, roughly 250-year lifespan. I want you to guess how old the United States is this year, 2026. Time's up. In his research, Sir Glove says that there are 6 stages of empire: the age of pioneers, the age of conquest, the age of commerce, the age of affluence, the age of intellect, and where we would be right now, the age of decadence and decline that is characterized by excessive consumption, selfishness, celebrity obsession, and inequality leading to collapse. Tell me that doesn't sound familiar. In his key characteristics of his theory, he says there are bread and circuses. In the final stages, focus shifts to entertainment, luxury, and celebrity culture, while civic responsibility vanishes. When you think about it, it makes complete sense for the United States to collapse. No sins have been paid for. Everything is self-inflicted. No transgressions have been properly adjudicated. As of right now, in my opinion, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. However, I want to leave you with this question. What does collapse mean? Because I don't think that collapse means that we all have to die. I think collapse means that we, if we really want to, can birth something new.
He is an Israelite, but probably don't know that he's an Israelite. But the last thing he said, he don't even know that that's, the way. Like, the Most High is not saying that his people are going to be destroyed. The enemies are going to be destroyed. And the Most High is going to place us back in his care and under his rod and in the land that he promised Abraham, Yatazachakwa, and Yaquab. So all praises to the Most High for his promise. And I'm not saying that this is something that's going to happen this year, next year, the year after. I don't know. I'm watching just like, you all should be watching. But I do know that the Most High's word has been guaranteed and his word does not come back void. So eventually this is going to happen. And it just coincides with the fact that if we look at the history of empires, they've all collapsed around the same time frame, and due to a lot of the same circumstances: hyperinflation, goods and services cost too much, military issues. It's just so many different taxes and all of those types of issues that's causes nations to fall. And we can see all of these things happening now. I didn't want to focus on just other prophecies specifically and didn't want to make it too long, but maybe next time. But I mean, y'all are shopping out there yourselves: gas, food, everything. I mean, you can't do anything without spending seem like $100 nowadays. And then some of these people with these bigger cars to fill up their gas is $5 a gallon almost. It's man, it has something at this point has to happen, because we wouldn't really be able to operate. I watch a lot of stuff about housing and the housing situation in relation to income and jobs, and it's like that people can't afford to buy houses no more. Then rent is going up. So it's like, to me, economically, everything is upside down. Um, and it's like, you can make close to 6 figures today. And if that was, the 80s and 90s, you would be, rolling in it. But I heard stories on TikTok and online about how families, did all of these things on a 25, 20K, 30K, income. And now today, that same amount, you're below check to check, or you got to get two, three, four, jobs. Or a lot of young people, we have to have roommates. We got to split everything. It's just so much, man, that's going on. And I'm just thankful for the Most High to open our eyes, minds, and ears. I just pray that He continue to allow us to have wisdom and understanding and how to move and act during this time. So that's the presentation. I see we got a hand up, so we're going to go to YAHAWASHA.
Yeah. When you were saying about like the timing of when like the prophecy was gonna be like fulfilled, like actually like me, Yashar and like Ak Anthony and like others we were in a group chat actually talking about this. And I sent the Hosea prophecy when he said in chapter 6, come and let us return unto Adonai, for he has torn and he will heal us, he has smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days he will revive us, and in the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. And like in like one day to like the Most High is like 1,000 years. And like since the sun rose back up around 30 AD, 2,000 years from then would be around the 2030s. But like, I just wanted to ask, like, what do you think about that?
I'm watching. I'm watching to see. I'm watching to see because I've seen that. I'm looking. Sometimes I look at jubilees. I try to get a count. So I'm paying attention, and yeah, a lot of stuff points to 2030. But we just got to. I don't know. I can't make a proclamation about it. But I'm on your same page with it. I'm paying attention.
Okay.
Zamar.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everybody. Pray all is well. I got on a little bit late. I'm still up here in Detroit, and the reason I'm getting on late because I was just working on some music, and like I said, this might not need anything to anybody else, but something was said in that video that he said at the end uh, that struck a chord with me. He said that we can create a new thing, and then Shamaria, you came on and kind of added your piece on what that can mean scripturally, and how ironic. Right before I got on the phone, I was working on a song, and in the song I was saying, "He makes all things new," and referencing the Revelations 21:5, where he declares that he's making all things new. So that just encouraged my spirit to let me know that the Most High is speaking, and we know that this world is fading away, but we have a great hope and a promise that we can hold on to, and that helps us to continue to endure and have peace in these times as Babylon begins to fall, and the Most High and His kingdom begins to arise again. So all praises for that video, man. All praises for this, me being able to catch a little bit of this lesson, man, and get confirmation. So all praises.
All praises. On to anybody else?
All praises to the Most High and His only begotten Son. I just wanted to comment a little bit about the economy, and just thanking the Most High that all of this, because of what we know and our knowledge, we just sit back and watch, and it's bringing us closer. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was researching daycares, and I was just blown away with the pricing of the daycare. $400 and $600 a week for daycare. And it's like this economy bringing us together, and us as Israelites knowing, what is to come. And like you were saying, having to live together and come together is bringing and strengthening us as a unit as well. So all praises to the Most High for the knowledge that He gives us, and then the understanding that we have, that we can move forward, and we know how to move, and we know where our faith lies. So all praises to that.
All praises. Absolutely love to hear those stories and testimonies and witnesses. So I really appreciate it. And I have coworkers, with children, and I know one person. They were saying that, you know, they work and then their partner, stays home and watch the kids, because if they did daycare, it's like they working for nothing. So you got to kind of weigh in all of these options, because it costs thousands of dollars a month just for a service like daycare. And I think I heard in passing of how whatever credits and services they did have as a government, vouchers and things like that, that you can get for daycare, because obviously you already get cut off if you quote unquote make too much money. So if you're, some of those people who just made careers, if you're in the 60-ish thousand dollar range and they say you make too much, but they don't account for like your taxes and, the cost of living, but they'll say you can't get a voucher for your daycare or your credits. And also he's saying that he wants to just cut the whole thing anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it in perspective. Like when my children, even though it was 30 years ago, I'm paying anywhere from $50 to $100 a week. I mean, it's just crazy how so we just know that it's not, we know what it is. It's the enemy doing things so that, and it's all for our good, all for our good. All praises.
Naraya.
Con. All praises for this class. It was on my heart to read this. I was just talking to Joyce about it either earlier today or yesterday. And we mention it every now and then, but as the time continues to get short and it looks like our redemption is truly near, I wanted to read this just to keep everyone sober minded as we endure. If you don't mind, I want to go to Ezekiel chapter 20. And I want to start at verse 33 whenever y'all ready.
Go ahead.
It says, "As I live, saith Yahweh Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahweh Elohim. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and will bring you into the bond of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me, and I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Yashar'Allah, and you shall know that I am Yahweh." So I will stop right there just for the sake of time, respecting everybody's time. But I've been telling Joyce, and I know I've mentioned it to Zamar. He has a song that he's working on that has me, thinking about this a lot more often. But we're in a place where we're playing for keeps now, y'all. We're really entering into where this thing really matters, even more so than it has before. And what this is saying is the Most High is going to bring us and deliver us from these nations. So many of us are expecting to be delivered from the land of America. But what does it matter if you disobey Yah and die in the wilderness? So I say all of those things to say, continue to endure and strive. But just like the song Shamar played earlier, Darak Bar, the Ox said, the grace gonna run out eventually. Eventually, all of us are going to be accountable for our actions. And that is what it means to be into the bond of the covenant when we pass back under the rod. We aren't going to be able to plead the blood of YAHAWASHA and just pray for grace and mercy. we're going to have to really be walking this thing now, getting those reps in to be prepared for when we are confronted face to face with our Heavenly Father to truly do His will in the earth. And I pray that He keeps us and that we endure to the very end in righteousness. But all praises for this class once again. I pray the Most High continues to be with both you as well as ABA YAH and all of the laborers in love, Yashar, Zamar, anyone who's praying, the sisters, Lena, Sister Joyce, anybody else, the Neal family, just all of us. But I'll yield with that. All praises.
All praises, Yashar.
Hey, Khan, yeah, I was gonna say something, but all praises. I mean, what Nariah said, I mean, I believe it summed it up pretty well. So all praises. Well, last thing I'll say, me, Anthony, and Yadon, we went up to the mountains just for a quick trip, to fellowship and seek the Most High. And while we were on the deck, the wind blew the pages of the Bible, all praises, and it flipped right to Ezekiel 20, that same exact verse Nariah just read. And we were meditating on that verse. So it's just crazy, the timing and everything. And we were just all talking about wanting the Most High to purify us, just internally, just His laws to naturally be on our heart. So just that desire in line with the word and the lesson today is just a beautiful thing. So just all praises to the Most High for everything He's doing.
Khan, all praises for that. Did anyone else have anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to offer the Most High doesn't do anything suddenly or like Hollywood, blah blah. And here it is. Like if you check His track record, because of His love for His people, and just like Uncle Shawal says, my prayer is that not one of the Israelites perish, but the Most High is blowing the east winds. Just like in the days of Noah, they were laughing, clowning Noah. Would it took Noah 500 years, and every year they clowning him more and more, and making fun of him. And Noah stayed the course. And when that first drop of rain came, they still was clowning and laughing. But then when that water got knee high, they wasn't laughing anymore. So the Most High is slowly destroying Babylon. And so, we around our friends, co-workers, our familiar family, loving them, trying to, have a little bond with them. At the same time, we're trying to share information that this thing is almost over. And when the famine comes, it's too late. Like we said, you just can't get into the gym and put 315 on the bar, and you ain't been working out in 5 years. So you can't have this type of confidence in the Most High when your stomach is growling. You can't have this confidence ain't gonna show up when your job closed the door. You pull up to the job and the doors are locked. You have to start rehearsing now and get. That's why I had 3 verses of prophecy. I save it for next time if Yah spares our life. But that's why it's more important than ever now to spend every day in the prophecies, knowing what the Most High has done for His people and what He will do is for His people. Because the East, if you're paying attention, like today's class showing how people are abandoning the U.S. government, the U.S. military, how inflation is through the roof right now. My wife all the time go to the store, come back with 2 bags, and that's $250. Like, good grace, like, do you need my help? Nah, I got it. There's only 2 bags, but I done spent $250. So the Most High, the point being, and I wrap this up, not one person, no matter how much we love them, son, daughter, brother, sister, mother, grandmother, not one person can say they didn't know, they wasn't warned. And now my doors are shut. I don't know what spirit is on you. You only here for the fish of the loaf. Son, daughter, you can't come here. Because for the 5-10 years that we were on the front lines, we was on the walls screaming to y'all, hey, this is the wrong way. Easter is the wrong way. Christmas is the wrong way. Swine is the wrong way. You laughed at us. You scoffed at us. And now that what you was trusting in, woe to those who trusted in the arm of man, right? You trusted in the government, You trusted in your pension. Now your company's telling you we ain't got no more money for y'all. So you putting your whole faith in their system. Oh, I got 20 years. I got 30 years. I got this in my savings. And all their money is fiat tissue. Nothing is backing their currency. So the Most High is pushing us back towards Him like our national prayer. Father, give us our daily bread. That's where we're going to. And we have no fear. Those of us who are repenting and back in the covenant, we have no fear. I don't care about your dollar. I don't care about your stock market. I don't care about your grocery stores. The Father will give us our daily bread. With that, I yield.
Khan, all praises. I mean, I'm in agreement with what has been said and pointed out, and just may the Most High continue to watch over us. Did anyone want to come up and pray us out?
All right. All praise to the great I am out for another wonderful fellowship. The water Rabbah for your obedience. And like you said, giving me a break. I'm always grateful for a break, working 40 hours and still have things to do. So I'm grateful for the laborers in the field. I pray give me a day or two, get this chopped up and cleaned up on the channel. This is definitely newsworthy. This is to put on your heart and mind. This is where we're at. Babylon is falling. And any day now, our bank accounts can be shut down. And you have to have your confidence in the great I. He loves to hear us bragging on him. He loves to hear. It's like us parents loving to hear our children say how wonderful my dad is, how wonderful I got the greatest mom. It makes us feel proud. And just imagine if we feel this way, how the Abba feels when we telling people the great I am got me. The great I am loves me. The great I am is going to come through for me. So all praise to the great I am for this class. I pray someone was encouraged to press on. And like I said, y'all willing, I have this published probably tomorrow morning. If all hearts and minds are clear, let's turn our hearts towards Tazawan, Zion, and pray out.